Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello again, everyone, and good Wednesday afternoon. Welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. I'm Andy Graham alongside Jeremy Jeffcoat. We'll be with you for the next hour, taking your comments, taking your phone calls, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics and maybe a little bit beyond. College football playoff rankings are out, the third rendition so far this year. Still got 2 weeks to go in the regular season, so a lot of these things are going to take care of themselves. But, of course, we've started taking a look at this on Wednesdays. We'll take a look at some playoff contenders, some scenarios. What do we expect to happen as we move forward? Who's going to move up? Who's going to move down? Who's got the best chance to end up in that Final Four or that top four, and maybe who is going to fill out the rest? It'll be conference champions in those first four spots. Take a look back at maybe some of the things going on in the SEC this past weekend. Auburn will take on Texas A&M on Saturday night. It's going to be a chilly night in Jordan-Hare Stadium, but it should be a very great atmosphere. We'll start to look at that game, give our impressions of that game as we move further into the week. But, JJ, good to see you today.
Yeah, man.
Anything? I mean, it's an exciting time in college football. We're getting to this first ever 12-team playoff, and it's starting. It takes a little bit more, little twists and turns every week, but we're starting to get a better picture.
I wish the chairman of the committee, I forget his name right now, but I wish they would do a better job of explaining things when he shows it, because I watched the show last night, and I wish they would do a better job of explaining that, look, it's a committee of people. We don't have a set structure, losses versus quality wins, quality losses, how do you evaluate, eye test, blah, blah, blah. And every committee member is going to have varying opinions on what is most important, right?
Right.
It looks to me like what the committee is doing right now is just evaluating by losses, right? But I've said all year that I think when it comes time to actually choose the teams that get in, who you beat is going to matter. And I think that's where the strength of schedule argument, which was huge on ESPN last night, Booger McFarland and Joey Galloway were, really at odds over how important strength of schedule was. But it's got to matter. Otherwise, if you're Georgia, go out there and schedule the Citadel. And, you got 4 non-conference games, man. You got Georgia Tech, and we can do Citadel and William and Mary and Samford, and call it a day. If it's just going to be about, well, this team has 1 loss and this team has 2, not all losses are equal.
You get into an interesting, and I'm sure this is probably part of the decision about, or the argument last night. I didn't see it, but you can't control who you play in conference. Right. You can only control who you play out of conference.
That's right.
Now, so is that what it comes down to? Are we comparing, did you schedule, is this team, a tough game out of conference? Because, it's unfortunate that in Indiana, I'm sure, is one of the biggest, but Penn State, for that matter. Penn State's had one really difficult game and they've lost.
Let me say this. I know you can't control who you play in conference, but it still has to matter.
Okay.
And that was part of the discussion last night was about Texas. Texas has a bad loss to Georgia. They don't really have a win over one of the SEC's top 5 teams.
They do not.
Now, a win over Texas A&M could cure that. Be on the road against a team that's currently 8-2. Will either be 8-3 or 9-2 when they play them. That would obviously, if they win out, they're going to stay where they are. But I think the point that Joey Galloway was making last night was that if Texas loses to Texas A&M, should they even be in the field? Because they don't have quality wins to point to, you know.
Right.
And that I think is where, because, you know, we're fortunate in this conference. I mean, you've got 6 listed on here that, you know, are under consideration, right?
Well, that brings up an interesting point. So if Texas A&M were to beat Texas,
Yeah.
and everybody else were to win out, then you would have 6 SEC teams with 2 losses.
Right.
How do you even begin to?
I think Texas would be the odd man out there.
But how do you? But who goes to the SEC title game?
Well,
If
I
Texas
would
goes-
have to look at the tiebreakers.
Well,
You can look that up.
But if Texas goes to the SEC title game and beats them and wins, you can't keep them out.
Well, Texas wouldn't go unless A&M loses to Auburn this week. If Texas loses to Texas A&M, then
How could you not have a rematch?
I guess you could, but wouldn't it fall to common opponents and then it'd be Alabama and A&M?
I don't know. Is that the first tiebreaker?
Well, it's not the first tiebreaker. Head-to-head's the first tiebreaker.
Okay. But I mean, everybody's beating everybody then.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can. There's an app where you can actually project wins. But I'm pretty sure if Texas loses to A&M, then the SEC championship game, assuming Alabama doesn't suffer a loss, is going to be Alabama and A&M.
Why wouldn't it be Tennessee?
Well, Tennessee, with 2 losses, it could indeed
Who
be
beat
Tennessee.
Alabama?
Because it would be the head-to-head. I don't know. That's an interesting one. I'm going to see if I can figure that out during the break.
Those are the kind of questions. So that's going to be a big determinant factor on who ends up in the SEC title game. And then do you penalize the loser of that game? Because they're going to be a team with 3 losses, but they lost to one of the better teams in the country.
That was another argument last night, right? The second place SEC team, because they're having to play an extra game against a top 10 team. I don't know that you necessarily hold them out on that 3rd loss.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind, the NCAA, the conference commissioners, the committee, they all want to maintain conference championship games because they bring in tons of revenue. So if you keep a team out because they played an extra game against a top 10 opponent in a conference championship game, then you are going to have teams that are going to start to argue, hey, we don't need these.
Yeah.
We don't need these.
Well, that's why I say, this year in the SEC, they're going to be fighting not to go to the SEC title game because they know it's just they don't want it. Number one, they could probably you're going to get to host a game in the playoffs as opposed to be on the road somewhere, or a neutral site. So interesting, very interesting to see how this all plays out. But anyway, the college football playoff rankings did come out last night. We can look at that. And Oregon remains at the top. Oregon 11-0. They struggled mightily on the road at Wisconsin this past weekend, but were able to pull it out. Scored late and was able to hold off the Badgers. So they still end up undefeated right now. Ohio State sitting there at number 2. Are they the second best team in the country?
I have a hard time arguing against them. I mean, they've handled business with everybody. They played the number 1 team to within a point.
Right.
It's hard to argue on the road, so it's hard to argue. It's hard to argue against them. I don't have a problem with them there. I can't put Texas over them after the beatdown Georgia put on Texas.
No.
I mean, Georgia put a serious whooping on Texas.
They did.
And if it's not Texas, it's certainly not Penn State or Notre Dame or Indiana. So, Ohio State kind of gets the number 2 by default.
Maybe that's the headliner. There are 4 Big Ten teams here in the top 5. So,
and this is like we talk about. You're seeing the difference now between, and see if this makes sense, right? If I can explain this the way I'm thinking it. To me, it makes sense. You're seeing the difference in the depth of the Southeastern Conference versus the depth of the Big Ten. And what I mean by that is it's no longer divisions, right? Mm-hmm. So the scheduling is going to be unbalanced. When you get an unbalanced schedule in the SEC, you get what Texas has, which for SEC purposes is a relatively friendly schedule. And then you get what, everybody else has, which is brutal, Yeah. In the Big Ten, you're going to have 3 or 4 teams that are going to get fairly advantageous schedules. And it just depends on who those teams are, right? If they're a good team, they're going to take advantage of it.
There's no question about that. I mean, you think about, you got 6 teams here right now in the SEC that I absolutely say are contenders. And look at the Big Ten. I mean, the next team outside of Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State, and Penn State, and you could argue against Indiana, like you said. That's a strong argument for them being a fairly weak team, and Penn State for that matter. That win on the road at USC doesn't really look that impressive as it once did.
No, that's another danger point here, right? Notre Dame's got to play USC at the end of the year.
Right.
If they lose that one, they're out. I mean,
they got to play Army Saturday. Watch out now.
They're not going to be.
Don't sleep on the Cadets.
They're going to handle the Cadets. I love the Cadets. It's a great story, but they're not going to win that game.
But I think the next team is Iowa, who's like 7-3 or 6-4. I mean, it just that's like you're talking about the depth of the SEC, and you could keep going. You could throw Missouri out there. South Carolina all of a sudden is playing extremely well.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's a nightmare to play. So I mean, it's just it's apples and oranges when you're talking about depth of league.
Yeah, that's always been our argument, right? Now, I still think we ought to be playing divisions in the SEC and go to 9 conference games, but that's just me. And you could have think about this, Andy. How beautiful would this be? A true West and East in the Southeastern Conference, because you start in the West with Texas, and Texas A&M, and Oklahoma, Missouri, and LSU, and the 2 Mississippi schools, right?
Yeah.
And then Arkansas, there's your 8.
Yep.
Everybody else is in the East. That's a beautiful system.
That would be an interesting.
A true West and East. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, but anyway, we're not doing that.
In JJ's dream world.
If you made me king of college football, I'd fix all this.
We need a czar.
We do need
JJ
a czar.
the czar.
Look, I'll put my plan out there on Twitter, and maybe I'll get some support.
You got my vote.
But no, look, that's what we've always said, that in the Southeastern Conference, if you get away from divisions, and the more tough conference games you got to play, we're just going to beat each other up. And it's not. Galloway made this point last night. And it's not like Galloway to defend the SEC, but he made this point last night. He goes, it's not just that you got to play Texas and Ole Miss. It's that you got to play Ole Miss and then South Carolina and then maybe a competitive Vandy team and then Texas.
Right.
It's the accumulation of that.
No question.
You know.
Up against our first break here, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, playoff scenarios and contenders. Don't go anywhere right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Runner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell. there's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 for Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. New Chevy Silverado 4x4 crew cabs discounted up to $14,000 off. Brand new 2025 Chevy Equinox compact SUV with high-tech features discounted up to $4,000 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and JJ here with you. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us today. We are brought to you each and every day by Sense of Green, heating, cooling, and insulation for air that's fresh and clean. Call Sense of Green, 334-487-3555. Also, Russell Do-It Center. They got 9 locations around Central Alabama. For all your building supply, home decor, tools, whatever it might be. Got a little bit of everything there. Hey, how about a Christmas gift for dad or the brother-in-law or your wife? They got a little bit of everything there, and you can find it at Russell Do-It Center. That would be a great Christmas gift. It's that time of year, JJ.
You know, for the people who go, you guys aren't with us here during the breaks, so you don't get to hear.
And that's a sad thing.
I think we've solved a few problems. I mean, I think we both agree that barring something really unusual, the ACC and the Big 12 are going to get one team in each.
I think that's very likely. Mm-hmm. I'm going 90% that that's the case.
Yeah.
I could see maybe a scenario if, like I say, the SMU-Miami game is just a phenomenal game, and Miami, scores at the last second. I'd really have a hard time keeping SMU out, but by the rankings, they're not going to move up that much with Virginia and Cal, so you're probably right. If they lose that, they're done. Yeah, so it's a one-team league.
That's what I think too, and I think the same thing will happen in the Big 12 because Colorado's not getting in with 3 losses. BYU, I don't think is getting in with 2, and Arizona State's not getting in with 2. So I just, unless they're conference champions.
So that's the way I kind of look at it. Is how many teams are going to come out of these conferences? If you've one in the ACC, one in the Big 12, one group of 5, and Notre Dame, that would be 4 teams.
That's 4. And
that's not guaranteed that Notre Dame gets in now.
It's not a guarantee. They got to win out.
Army at USC.
Right.
But let's just, for the sake of argument, say they win out. So you got 8 slots available.
2 are going to go automatically to the SEC and Big Ten champions.
Is it going to be 5 and 3 or 4 and 4?
Oh no.
Or 6 and 2.
The SEC. The SEC will have more teams in than the Big Ten at the end of the
Could it be 6? Could you get? Would they do that?
Let's see. Notre Dame, Group of 5, Big 12 ACC, Big 10 champ, SEC champ.
That's
So there's 6 left.
Yep.
Could it go 5-1 from there? I mean, I think you have to you have to live in a world where I think, even if let's say Ohio State knocks off Indiana this weekend, and even if they have a second loss to Oregon, I think Ohio State gets in on the lower end of the scale. But I think they get in because at that point they would be 10-2, and they're only 2 losses to number 1. So I think you're going to get 2. The question is Penn State, Indiana. Don't know.
For the SEC, the worst thing that could happen is Indiana beats Ohio State.
Yeah.
Because then, like you say, you could make an argument, a pretty strong one, because Indiana's going to end up undefeated. Oregon's going to end up undefeated. Penn State's going to have 1 loss, and Ohio State's going to have 2 losses, and those 2 losses are to 2 of the top 5 teams in the country.
Yep.
So like you said, you probably put them in. That only now leaves 4 slots for the SEC.
Right.
You got the champion winner, whoever that's going to be, whoever end up playing in the thing, and then you're going to have a whole lot of upset 2-loss teams.
Yeah, or what happens if you have a 3-loss number 2? That's the other person that gets upset, right?
Right.
Because I played an extra game against a top 10, opponent for a conference championship, and I'm being punished for it.
Does that almost? All right. Let's say Texas beats Texas A&M.
Yep.
Okay. So they go to the SEC title game and play whoever.
Right.
So then you've got Texas A&M's out with another loss. They got 3 losses. They're out.
Yeah.
So then you got Alabama. Let's assume they went out. Ole Miss, let's assume they went out. Georgia, let's assume they went out. And Tennessee, let's assume they went out. So you got Texas playing whoever in the SEC title game of Alabama, Ole Miss, Georgia, or Tennessee.
Right. Which, if Missouri wins another game and Alabama wins out, would be Alabama, is my understanding of how the tiebreakers are going to work.
So let's say Alabama loses that game.
Yeah.
There's only 4 slots, JJ.
Yeah.
So you got a 1-loss Texas. You got 2-loss Ole Miss, who beat Georgia. You got Georgia, who lost to Alabama. You got Tennessee, who beat Alabama. Do you put a 3-loss Alabama team over a 2-loss Georgia team that lost to Alabama?
Yeah.
You do?
I mean, I don't know. I think this goes back to my argument that I think the conference commissioners, the people who run the sport, they want these conference championship games because they're big revenue. But if you're going to punish somebody for playing an extra game against a top-notch opponent for a conference championship, you set a bad precedent there. And, because then, how many coaches, and there'll be some, the more outspoken one, Lane Kiffin, will say, if Alabama does get left out, he go, well, he goes, like I told y'all, it's better sometimes not to go to that game.
Right. I mean, look, if
you've just told the SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey that your conference championship doesn't mean anything anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't think it won't be brought up. I mean, will it sway anybody's thought process to say, well, Georgia should not have been left out last year. They got left out last year. Here they are. Can we truly justify a 3-loss Alabama team jumping a 2-loss Georgia team, even though they beat Georgia head-to-head? Again, I think it comes down to Indiana and Ohio State this weekend. If Indiana loses, then that's going to solve a lot of these problems.
Yeah.
Then you could say, well, guaranteed probably there's only 3 Big Ten teams, and then that opens up that, for that a loser of the SEC title game.
The other thing is Alabama beats Texas in the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
And then you got to have the argument Texas strength of schedule as a 2-loss team versus a Georgia team that dismantled them.
Exactly.
Ole Miss, Tennessee.
If Texas loses the SEC title game, I think they'd be out. Because like you said, I don't know. I wouldn't put them above Alabama, Ole Miss, Georgia, or Tennessee.
Would you wouldn't put them above Tennessee? I think them and Tennessee would be the argument.
Think so?
I think that would be the argument.
With that win, well, yeah. That would at that point, I guess you flip a coin.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You'd have to go through, I guess, schedule, the team by team in their schedule. But, wow, this is it's making my head hurt. It's going to be interesting. I think it's a big time. Got one? Okay.
Yep. Oh.
Hey, caller, you're on the Auburn Blitz, but can you hang on for a second? We may go to break.
Yeah, I just got a quick thing.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think I'm listening to the Abbott and Costello show today.
Which is which?
Who's here and who's there and who's everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. Yeah, that's kind of what it's coming. Who? What?
Who's on first?
We got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Who's not on first?
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We are your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout Central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes. They're installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
The results are in, and Game Day Men's Health in Auburn has delivered. The certified medical team at Game Day Men's Health wants to help you feel better. Text 334-209-3706 to set up your free testosterone check and consult. Results back in as little as 15 minutes. Tired of feeling tired? Text 334-209-3706 to Game Day Men's Health in Auburn. They make you feel better.
Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dayville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
J.A. Smith Construction, licensed general contractor and your trusted choice for land clearing and grading, site work, underground utilities, concrete paving, and material hauling. They also do storm drain installations, fish ponds, and slough dredging. Call Alexander at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. No job is too big or too small for J.A. Smith Construction, the top choice for all of your land service needs.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event, from tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and JJ here with you. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. We are brought to you each and every day by J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation. No job is too big. No job is too small. Give them a call today for all your needs. 334-531-0199. Got some comments here, JJ. Jim talks about, look, if you really want to know, I'd take the bottom three of the SEC, and how would they fare against the bottom three of any other league in the country?
Well, our bottom three would fare pretty well.
Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Auburn.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I mean, for example, if you took Indiana and you gave them Alabama's schedule, are they 5-5?
We'll find out Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'd give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt and then say maybe they're
7-3.
Maybe at best. But
yeah, that's you know, that's the thing about college football. That's why conference championships, you know, have to matter, because everything's not equal. You know what I mean? So you got to at least get the conference champs in. I was always a proponent of an 8-team playoff when we had 5 major conferences. You have the 5 conference champions and the 3 highest ranked at large, and you play it off.
Right.
You know, but they didn't do that. They went with another system, and that's fine. I think by the end of the year, I think we're probably going to be fairly happy with how it shakes out.
Yeah, there's always going to be somebody on the outside saying, you know, we deserve to be that. It was first that we deserve to be that 4th team.
Right.
Now it's, you know, then it was we deserve to be that 8th team. Now, well, we deserve to be that 13th, that 12th team.
Yeah.
And when we go to 16, there'll be somebody on the outside saying we need to be that 16th team.
Yeah.
That's going to happen every year. But there's less and less and less an argument to be made when you get down that low. It's like, if you go into that 16, you got 3 losses or 2 losses. You could have won those games. Don't bother me.
I think that was always our coming into this year was our curiosity. Can you lose 3 and still get in? And I think we're gonna find that out.
It's going to be tested. Yeah. That theory will be tested this year. Ty says, if there's not enough 6-win teams to fill bowls, do you think Auburn wins 5 games? A 5-win Auburn team will accept a bowl offer?
Yes.
Do you think so?
15 extra practices, yes.
Now, can Auburn get to 5 wins? That's another story,
right?
And that's another question. But okay, maybe we turned it down last year. I believe we had an opportunity to go.
That was the year before.
Was it the year before?
It was the year before, but
we had an opportunity to go to a bowl game.
You're in a coaching change.
We said, no thanks.
Yeah, no. I mean, when you're in a coaching change, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
To me, if I got 15 extra practices, man, I want the 15 extra practices. You know, and then I am really focused on everybody that's going to be back next year.
Oh yeah.
Starting lineup is going to look a little different. You know.
Ty says, I think Indiana will get blowed out Saturday at Ohio State.
Yeah.
JJ agrees with you 100%.
42-14, I'm going to say.
Ooh, boy. So just a statement, you don't belong, little sister, move along.
Yes.
Okay. That's going to be y'all could be absolutely correct. We will see for sure. Georgia with a big win over Tennessee this past weekend. That was kind of the headliner, I think, of the weekend. Georgia bouncing back after that loss to Ole Miss.
Sort of reminds you that when Carson Beck is playing well, Georgia's really good. So when he's not, they're not.
He was definitely on in the second half, and they threw the ball at will. Tennessee's defense was probably, I was expecting maybe a little bit more from them. The Tennessee offense has been what it's been. They're just not dynamic right now for whatever reason.
And Nico's going to get there. I'm not worried about it. The tools are all over him. I mean, you just see it all over the place. He's still learning the quarterback position, but I'm not worried about Nico long term. But this year he looks like a first-year starter a lot of times.
Florida takes care of LSU at home again. Billy Napier doing a really good job of kind of keeping that team together.
How weird that the third hottest seat in the Southeastern Conference may now be Brian Kelly.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he in trouble?
I don't think he's in danger of getting fired this year. But buddy, next year you better make a playoff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he and Hugh Freeze are both sitting on a extremely hot seat.
But I think the expectations will be different.
Yeah.
Hugh Freeze needs to show some progress next year. He needs to win 7-8 games.
He needs to win 8 at least.
I think 7-8. If you got a young team, a young quarterback, you're looking good. Things are, there's different ways to lose games. Brian Kelly's going to have to make a playoff next year because LSU's expectation is national championships. That's their talent level. That's where they are.
Is Nussmeier back next year?
No.
Okay.
Now, remember, they're in a bidding war with Michigan for the top quarterback in the country.
Right. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I'm telling you, 8 wins for Auburn next year. Or
I think 7-8 or better. I still think Auburn is still another year away.
Schedule's still manageable next year.
Yeah, I still think Auburn's another year away from competing. Right.
Depends on what portal quarterback, what kind of get. If they truly compete.
Well, and you got to hold on to the freshman coming in too. And
no doubt.
Who's to say he's not the guy next year?
True. Got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
This is Joseph Dean with Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory. I am pleased to announce that Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is now open to serve the public at our location on the corner of 49 North and 280 West in Dadeville. Please stop by and see lifelong resident of Dadeville, Molly Kaler, who will be running the office and meeting with families who want to plan ahead and pre-need their services. We are also available by phone 256-750-0381 or online at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
Bugs Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bugs Island has all kinds of boats with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bugs Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bugsisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sensi Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensi Green and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carrier cool cash rebates. Visit sensigreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare. Serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area. Go ahead and mark your calendars, sports fans. The Alabama State Games are returning to the Magic City of Birmingham, Jefferson County, and surrounding communities June 13th through the 15th, 2025. We're talking about 20-plus sports open to athletes of all ages and abilities. The 42nd Alabama State Games will be something to behold. Mark your calendars now and be ready to go when registration opens. Visit alagames.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more exciting announcements.
When you want quality, selection, price, superior financing, and a pain-free buying experience, look no further than Sons Automotive Group of Montgomery and Auburn. Sons of Montgomery offers the best selection of Kias, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ram trucks. Conveniently located on Eastern Boulevard, Sons Ford of Auburn is the region's Ford volume dealer. And when you shop at any Sons location, they will maximize all incentives and financing options for anyone's credit. Whether Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram in Montgomery, or Ford in Auburn, Sons Automotive treats you like family because they are family driven.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and JJ here with you. All right, JJ, more likely Indiana beats Ohio State in the Horseshoe, or Army beats Notre Dame in Notre Dame.
I'm going to say it's more likely that Army beats Notre Dame. And the only reason I say that is because Army runs that option offense, and sometimes, you know, as Charlie Daniels used to say, if the moon is right on a certain night, right?
All right. Let me.
Sometimes you can option somebody into submission.
Let me rephrase this. I misspoke. Not at Notre Dame. It is a neutral site game in Yankee Stadium, I believe.
That still doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But I'm just giving you full disclosure.
Yeah,
So you take Army, and
look,
that's more likely.
Is it possible Indiana could win this game? I mean, it's possible Martians could land in Goodwater later today. But there is no world that I could live in where I go into this going, boy, Ohio State's about to get tested. You know, I just don't. I'm sorry, Indiana's not a good football team. All I got to do is look at their scores against a pathetic, I think their schedule's ranked 106th.
Yeah.
I mean, a pathetic schedule. And it's not like they're dominating people, right? I mean, they're eking out wins against a bad Michigan
they beat
team.
Nebraska by about 50, I think.
I mean,
not that Nebraska's a
more
great
about
team.
Nebraska than it does anybody. How's that Dylan Raiola money going? But yeah, I don't see it, man. I think not only is Ohio State, I think they're going to put their foot on the gas. They're not going to take it off.
Yeah, they probably need to make a statement. Okay, Texas A&M is at Auburn. Auburn could be a spoiler here for obviously Texas A&M and Alabama. But first things first, you got 8-2 Texas A&M, 5-1, who's got at Auburn, and then they welcome in Texas. So you talk about the hardest road, I think, for a team that's finishing a season here. It is Texas A&M.
All right, y'all, I'm on record. We're here. We're in the studio. We're being taped.
Yes, this is going out to the masses.
I'm calling my shot. Auburn wins this game, 23-16.
Okay. I heard it It is on tape.
23-16, Auburn wins this game. Couple of reasons. One, Auburn's capable of playing good football. We know that. We've seen them do it in stretches, right? It might be for a half. It might be for a quarter. Played pretty good football all game last week. I think some of the younger guys, especially defensively, Riddick's a stud. Some of the younger guys are starting to develop into SEC caliber players, where I don't know that they were necessarily at the first of the year. And I think Freeze has gotten better at walking that line between aggressive and careful, right? That you have to be with Peyton Thorne. You have to. There's a balance. You can't be so careful that you don't do anything, but you can't be so aggressive that he throws 4 interceptions. You got to walk that line, you know.
Right.
And I think he's gotten better at that. I think you've seen over the last few games that he's gotten a little better at that.
Well, we talked earlier in the week, and I think with Jim, and I talked with Brett last night, and the fact that they started Peyton Thorne with clearly a sore shoulder. He was kind of working it out during the game. You could see that. And not just, you knew you were going to beat Louisiana Monroe. You could have thrown Hank Brown out there and give, there's two schools of thought. Well, you want Thorne to be completely healthy going into these last 2 games because, as we've said ad nauseum, he gives them the best chance to win. Right. That's what Hugh Freeze thinks. Whether you believe that or not, that's what he believes. But they started him anyway, and he made a comment in the press conference and said, well, we didn't replace him. We wanted him to play for 3 quarters because we wanted him to really build some confidence with those receivers. Now, JJ, we're in game 10.
Yeah.
It seems a little late for that, but
by the way, how good did Malcolm Simmons look last week?
Quite. The dude has got some wheels.
Yeah.
And he seems to be in the right spot at the right time. But I understand the sentiment, and to me, the fact that they started him and they played him for 3 quarters tells me that Hugh Freeze and that coaching staff absolutely believe 100% they can beat Texas A&M. And they wanted to garner some momentum heading into that game and heading into these last 2. I mean, my goodness, we've played Alabama's pants off every time in Jordan-Hare Stadium. We, for 2 out of 3 last couple of years, they know that they can play with Alabama. But I think this game specifically against A&M, they really feel like they have a chance to win this game. So.
And I don't disagree. Look, I give Elko credit. He's done better than I thought he would have. I actually, he's got 2 losses on the season now. I had him at 4 losses at this point, so he's been better than I thought he would be. This year, but that doesn't change what's on the field. And I don't look at Texas A&M, and I know technically they're a playoff contender. I just don't look at them as a playoff contender.
They may prove them wrong. Yep. Texas A&M may waltz in there and win that game handily. And I'm just that's definitely a possibility. But
they'll play good defense.
We'll see.
They will play good defense.
Yeah, that's for sure. It could be a low-scoring game. I think that probably benefits Auburn for sure. Don't go anywhere. One final segment of the Auburn Blitz on this Wednesday, right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, licensed general contractor and your trusted choice for land clearing and grading, site work, underground utilities, concrete paving, and material hauling. They also do storm drain installations, fish ponds, and slough dredging. Call Alexander at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. No job is too big or too small for J.A. Smith Construction, the top choice for all of your land service needs.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sensi Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensigreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carrier cool cash rebates. Visit Sensigreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Go ahead and mark your calendars, sports fans. The Alabama State Games are returning to the Magic City of Birmingham, Jefferson County, and surrounding communities June 13th through the 15th, 2025. We're talking about 20-plus sports open to athletes of all ages and abilities. The 42nd Alabama State Games will be something to behold. Mark your calendars now and be ready to go when registration opens. Visit alagames.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more exciting announcements.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and JJ here with you, closing things out to 1 o'clock. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us today. I always like to remind you about Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. So right about lunchtime, a little bit after maybe for some of you, but be sure to check out their daily lunch specials. Go on their website, steaksinwine.com, just the letter N, steaksinwine.com. Daily lunch specials. The food is terrific. You can go pick it up to go, eat it there, whatever you'd like to do. They've got a tremendous variety of steaks and ribs and steak burgers and Kaneka burgers. Got a wide variety of wines as well, one of the best selections in and around Auburn. 2 locations, one in Montgomery, one in Auburn. Go and check them out today. The food is absolutely tremendous. People are great. Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Okay, JJ, where were you in 1993?
Where was I in 1993?
Yeah.
Well, in May of 93, I graduated from Troy State University at the time.
Okay.
And then started working.
Well, November of 1993.
Yes.
On this day, the 58th Iron Bowl took place.
Remember it well?
Not on TV.
Yeah, remember it well.
I
was working at a radio station in Selma, Alabama.
Is that right? Okay.
And was actually running the game. I was board opping the game.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have seen the game since on tape, bootleg copy. But, one of those, Auburn comes in undefeated, down in the game, Stan White blows out his knee. All is lost, we think. Off the bench comes one young Patrick Nix.
Yeah, that's right.
Drops back on 4th down, throws a pass down there
Was there not also
Frank
a
Sanders, Eddie Davis in.
Was there not also a huge late run by James Bostic?
James Bostic broke one leg to put us up.
Because Alabama had gone, Stallings had gone, sold out on the run, 11 men at the line of scrimmage. And once you break through the first level, there's nobody there to stop you.
Yeah, Auburn's up 15-14, and then they broke that one to kind of put it away late.
I love James Bostic, by the way.
He reminds me, Jarquez Hunter reminds me so much.
Yeah, a little bit.
James
I can see that, yeah. Bostic was a very intimidating runner.
He was a brute.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it. 1999, the 64th Iron Bowl. First loss in Jordan-Hare Stadium for an Auburn-Alabama game. Alabama comes in, man. Sean Alexander just ran wild.
Yeah.
Alabama won that game. First year for Tubby. I mean, Auburn was not expected to win that game, but it was the Sean Alexander show. That's what it was.
Sean Alexander and then the left tackle Chris Samuels.
Oh yeah.
They both just had amazing years that year.
Yeah. 2004, Auburn again undefeated. 69th Iron Bowl, goes in there, slops around. I think we were down 6-0 or 7-0 going into halftime. Just pathetic. But they come out, score 21 answered points.
Is that the one that was so cold?
I think that was 2000.
Okay.
When it was sleeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was 2000. Luke always talks about that's the coldest game
It was
he's ever
the coldest It's the coldest I've ever been, I think.
Yeah, I could see that
night,
for sure.
yeah.
Happy birthday today, Kennesaw Mountain Landis, first commissioner of Major League Baseball.
The hanging judge.
That's right. That's right. He's the one that put the hammer down on the
Black Sox.
Black Sox, the White Sox in 1919. Richard Dawson, come on down.
Yeah.
No, that's the wrong show.
Wrong.
Family Feud, but hello, darling.
Yeah, that's right.
Give us a kiss.
He also was the game show host in The Running Man.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Damian Killian.
Do you know who wrote The Running Man?
What did Starsky or Hutch?
No.
Who was?
It was based on a Stephen King short story.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, great information there. I think Predator was one I'm thinking about. I think that was one. No, I can't remember. But okay, Dr. John. Is it the wrong place at the right time or the right time at the wrong place? I forget.
Right place must have been wrong time. Right place, wrong time.
Okay, right place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Dr. John, cool. He came to Elliott City for the Jazz Fest one year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bob Einstein, you might recognize him as Super Dave Osborne.
Oh, okay.
If you ever see any of those, they are hilarious. Super Dave. Norman Greenbaum.
Going up to the Spirit in the Sky.
Going up to the Spirit.
Yep.
One-hit wonder, but it is a wonder. Dwayne Allman.
Yeah.
One of the great guitarists of all time, really.
Really lost kind of as the Allman Brothers were just getting going. Lost in a motorcycle accident.
He is responsible for that guitar solo, that beginning to Layla.
Yeah.
With Eric Clapton. I don't know if people know that. Joe Walsh. Love Joe Walsh.
Big day for musicians.
Really, absolutely. Yeah. Life's been good to me, Joe Walsh. Drove, what is it? Bought a Maserati, drove, my Maserati would do 185.
Yeah.
Lost my license, now I don't drive. Mark Gastineau. Heard you mention him before.
Yeah, I used to love those old Jets teams with, you had Marty Lyons on those teams. And
he was the first guy that I remember really would celebrate after a sack.
A sack dance. Well, that's the thing. Until like the mid-'80s or so, sacks were not an official statistic. They didn't keep up with them.
Right. Bo Derek, the lovely Bo Derek.
10.
If you've never seen 10 or Tarzan, I would highly recommend them. Sean Young, she was in Blade Runner.
Yeah.
She was in No Way Out. Then she kind of disappeared. Mike D from the Beastie Boys.
Okay. Yeah.
Joey Galloway, the aforementioned Joey Galloway. J.D. Drew, people thought he was the next Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
No, he was not. He was not the next Mickey. He's pretty good. He played for the Braves for a little while. Dierks Bentley.
Dierks Bentley's got a new song out. It's actually an old song. It's a cover of Tom Petty's American Girl.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go. Dominique Dawes, fantastic gold medal gymnast, and Josh Turner.
Very deep voice.
So on that long black train somewhere.
Black train.
Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. He is JJ. I'm Andy. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.